Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing. What I want to do is have a look through the Starman Tarot, but I want to do it a little bit different. I've been working with this deck for a little while now, since middle of March, and what I've loved about this deck is every time I look at the cards I see something different. So I wanted to do a little bit of a fool's journey through the major arcana, basically. We'll see how we go for time, for how long the journey is, just to give you an idea of what you can do in creating your own fool's journey, if you like. But it's a sacred clown, of course, in the Starman Tarot. Starman Tarot collaborated with David Bowie and David D'Angelis, and what I love about it is the vibrancy of the cards, the imagery, the electricity, the every time you look at the cards you can see so much more. The camera really doesn't do it justice under this light, but if I make it too dark I don't think you're going to see the card so clearly. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, I think that could be just a little bit dark. I don't know whether that's better. Anyway, just to give you an idea. Maybe it is better darker. Can you see that? No, I'm still playing, sorry. Okay, so we'll leave the light on because I need to read anyway. So what I'm going to do is take you through the story of the sacred clown. What I want to do is describe who he is, what I see in him, and what it means to me. You may see something totally different and it may mean something else. And each time I've looked at it, I've seen something a wee bit different. So anyway, traditionally, okay, the sacred clown, which is 0, traditionally the Fool, so he's free-spirited youth, new beginnings, student of life and new adventures, and he's dreamers and egocentric, and there's a whole lot more going on. Some of you will know traditional meanings with the Fool, but you can look on my blog, you can look in other videos. There's a whole lot of information in regards to the Fool, the sacred clown, the 0. Okay, describing the card. So I found a youthful man who's painted. So he's all painted on top here. He's got black pants. He's got one hand hung by the side of his body, and the other hand, with his left hand, the finger pointed towards over the right shoulder with a yellow light. Okay, there's an orange circle, which could be classed as being said, it could be the sun, could be to do with the, for me, it's about the sacral chakra. It could be part of that as well. Okay, so it can be about the sun. The orange circle behind the youth, wearing what I thought was a grey and black striped hat, right, with this white thing on it. And I realised now, looking at it, it's actually horns of some sort, and the white behind him is his aura. So interesting, okay? So on the floor, okay, he's surrounded by bear traps. Okay, see the bear traps here that are gold. There's a purple floor. He's got green shoes on. And there seems to be some sort of fire out of the orange, whether it's a wheel or a sun, so there's more fiery energy out of it. Okay, so there's a bit of fire energy here. And then what I see here in these yellow faces, one's with a red hoodie thing and one's a blue hoodie thing, yellow faces on either side. So the book says, I laugh at the game of life. Of course, there's a bit more of a description about what was written. But for me, as I look at the card, I see this character. I see this mischievous, youthful guy who has this wonder for what lies ahead. He's not watching where he goes, so he takes risks as he steps ahead. learning about his own sexuality, his own identity, you know, who he is, what he's about, discovering about his own identity. His creative projects begin. Okay, so that's my thought about what the sacred clown is and what it could mean in the story. Okay, so now the sacred clown, he steps out of the darkness, the void, onto a path of light, ready for new adventures. He walks on the path towards the Starman. Okay, so who is this man? He surrounds himself with energy of possibilities. With belief, he manifests his desires. He shows you what he wants you to see. A young man standing in what appears to be a yellow pool of light. See this yellow pool of light here. Moving out into a purple light. The purple around here. His body appears green, moving upward to show splashes of blue. Some blue up here. Purple, yellow, and a magenta colour. His hair's sort of magenta. Okay. Above his head is a gold arrow, like shape, and a teal circle spins within this arrow. Around the Starman, or to the side of the Starman, you see a crescent moon and some spiral, gold spiral. A fire and a face to one side. See the fire and the face to one side. I see this man who has his charisma. He expects you to see and fall in love with him. He knows you only see what he shows you, not what is beyond the illusion. So now the sacred clown realizes this man may not be completely trustworthy with what he shows you. You have to look beyond the surface of what you physically see. Next, the sacred clown walks towards the green light. Noticing the feminine energy, this receptive energy of the high priestess, he notices she kneels on one knee, with her arms outstretched to the side, elbows slightly bent. A turquoise light, a teal light pours down behind her. The sacred clown wonders if the light pours into her from behind. The green light has a band of purple energy that moves across above the teal light before moving into this black space. Yellow pillars on either side speak of duality, polarity. There is what appears lunar energy above the high priestess. She speaks. I tap into the ancient wisdom that come from before. Secrets are revealed. There are times when secrets are spoken, and times when in silence is better. This is a healing space, a space that comes from being from a place of the heart. That's what I got so far in the story that I've started to write. So now what I want to do is just sort of show you a little bit of each card. You can go through, and I'm going to continue the story myself for my own personal use, but I just want you to go through, and I'm just going to show you the cards, the major arcana to start with, and you can see the colours and the characters and what they're doing, and there's so much in the imagery. I love the lovers. I love the intensity, the playfulness, the fun, the romance, the passion, the creativity, the choices that need to be made. There's just so much going on with the imagery. The Chariot, the Strength. You know, and you can see the lions on either side. This is quite interesting because she's got two lions here. One's roaring and one seems a bit more placid. He still seems, or maybe he seems a bit growly, but not as roaring. Not as, you know, as roaring so loud. Seems to be a little bit quieter. Now this is interesting because here you have the, instead of the hermit, he's actually called the alien, which is quite interesting. Now I'm just going to read you what he says about the alien, if I can. I love the book. Not that I'm spending a lot of time looking at the meanings. I really want to get what I can from the imagery and what comes through. So we've got the hermit. I go within and call on spirit to illuminate the path. So this is about a deep journey within. I'm not going to go into detail. I really want you to discover this deck for yourself, and so much more. So I'm just sort of going through the imagery sort of quickly. You really need to spend time with this deck to really get, because every time you look at the images you see so much more. So that's Temperance there. And then you've got, I love the devil, you know, and he's just this character there. You can see the purple and the red and the spirituality, letting go. The tower, love that. The star, the moon, the sun, judgment, and look at the world. Okay, now I'm just going to grab the rest of the deck. I just want you to look. Okay, let's move the mages out of the way. I just want you to look very quickly at the aces. I'm not going to go through the whole deck because I think for you, you really need to enjoy looking at this yourself. I think this is a deck to really get the, I don't know if this is going to work. I might have to see if, let's have a look. Oh, no, that's the wrong way. Trying to do this left and right thing can be a bit of a trick, you know, try and get you to. So I just want you to look at the aces just for a minute. Look at the pentacles, the wands, the cups, and the swords. Now, I don't know if you can, how much more do I need to move across? Oh, yeah, we're just about there. Yeah, okay. So have a look at the imagery and look at the colours, and you can sort of see the earthy tone, the fire, the water, and the air. And I mean, look at the colours and they're just amazing. I just think they're just gorgeous. So you can sort of see the aces and see how they blend, sort of go together, and what colour sort of runs through them, and what's the differences and what's the similarities. So that's what I like looking at. So now what we're going to do, now that you've seen all the aces, that's cool. What I want to do is actually go through, I think, the wands. I think the wands with the fire energy. Let's just put the rest of the suits to one side. Just want to have a look at how they progress. So when you look at the wands, you look at the ace. Okay, the 2. Let's just move this along a little bit so I can see how many I can fit in. Ace, 2, 3, and 4. So you got the spark of energy. It's a thought, it's an idea in regards to maybe an enterprise or a creative project, okay? So you got the spark and this idea. Then you have to make a choice. You have a choice to survive, basically. A choice to move ahead. Excuse me, let me just take a drink. Chai latte. Beautiful. Okay, so you've got the spark, the idea. Then you've got the choice. Now you've made that choice and you've started to walk ahead. Okay, so because you've started to walk ahead and you suddenly in this temporary pause and stop, and you feel like, oh my God, I've made the choice, I've made a decision. I know I'm so close to completing the first stage of my idea, the first stage of my creative project. It won't be complete, but it'll be the first stage completion. So I feel like this is what the Four of Wands is that they've met up with somebody else and they're like, hey, look, I've achieved this so far. This is what I've achieved. I've managed to, I know I've got some stuff still to go, but this is where I'm at, and I'm just celebrating I've got this far. That's what I feel like this card's about. So there's a lot of healing going on. There's a lot of stuff happening, okay? And you can sort of see when you look at this imagery, there is a sense of, I've got this project. I've really achieved so much. But then just get the sense that somebody else I also, with this card here, with some of the decks, not all, some decks I get a sense of that somebody else has sort of taken ownership of your project in some way. They've taken ownership of your project, and that can be a bit frustrating. So, you just got to be careful you don't take control, you don't take ownership of somebody else's project. That's what I get a feeling of this card. I know a lot of times it's about, when it's Rider-Waite-Smith, it's about celebration and all that sort of stuff. But occasionally I'll sort of get that whole don't take ownership of somebody else's project, or somebody else taking ownership of your project. And that's what I feel like, you've got this idea, you've got the spark, you've made the decisions, you've walked ahead. Now you've completed the project, but somebody else has taken ownership of it. So that's where the battles come in. So let's move the cards slightly. Okay, so I think that's where the battle comes in, because somebody else has taken ownership of your project, of your creative energy. It could be your artwork, whatever. So that's where the battles and the fights come in. That's where the arguments and the whole stuff starts happening, this backwards and forwards flowing. Okay, now there's been some real battle. So now it talks about success. So because there's some success in that journey, okay, success. Look at the colour. It's just beautiful. This, the heart is sort of starting to feel like there's this love coming in. Oh, God, I've really got a tickle in the throat tonight, haven't I? Okay, so it's really about trusting your gut instinct. And I get a lot of that with these cards here. It's a lot about trusting. Okay, you're having to, you think you've got success, but then you find yourself actually needing to stand up for yourself as well. There's a sense of still a bit of a battle going on. You're finding yourself, you have to sort of like, there's been battles because somebody else has taken control of your project. You've had a bit of a battle. You thought you had success, and you realise you still have to stand up for yourself. And this is where it's really important that you stay grounded. I get that sort of very earthy tones with this one as well, not so fiery. It's a bit more needing to be quite firm, not so, don't let your emotions get the better of you. And this one, I feel like, don't let the emotions get the better of you. Being able to communicate clearly is really important. Standing up for yourself and making sure that you stay grounded seems to be really, really important. That sense of really needing to. Okay, Eight of Wands tells us then that everything's going to happen really swiftly. It's a real fast movement. Shooting up into the air. So I feel like that everything's sort of going to start moving forward quite quickly. Yep. And we've got 9 of Wands, when I feel like there's a sense of, this card here is quite interesting, because I feel like that there's still, like, things are broken, things are not quite as expected. Things, you know, you feel like you're going to have to work a little bit harder for what you want. Feels like there's going to be a bit of a hard work towards it, a bit of perseverance. The view might be a bit crooked. The viewpoint might be a bit funny. There is a need to express who you are and communicate clearly, maybe opening your heart, trusting in your gut instinct. But I feel like there's a lot of broken, like, just things are not quite coming together in some respect. So things are quite a heavy burden. It's definitely, oh my God, that is such a powerful card. So I have to sort of see if you can see that. I mean, you look at that card. Isn't that amazing for a burden card? That is so cool. That's just like the weight on his shoulder. You know, it's just the wand through his shoulder is just like, oh my God. That is just like so, he looks like so downtrodden. You know, there's just no way. He's dehydrated. He's, you know, he's in a really bad state. You can see that within him. So now we have the youth that's enthusiastic but not yet the experience. We have the movement with the prince. So there is that sort of movement head. There could be a bit of observation before actually taking action, but he's a bit of a player. I feel like he's got a bit of stuff going on. And here we've got this woman. She is so, you know, she'll help you out, but you've got to ask. She's got a lot of spirituality here. She's like self-expression. She's quite, I feel like she's quite creative in lots of ways. She's always, you know, she's quite happy to put her hand up. If someone says, hey, look, will you give me a hand? She's like, yeah, no worries at all. You know, and I feel like that with that woman. She's just like, yeah, I'm here, I'm creative. I feel like she'd be a very loyal friend. She's got a lot of friends around her. There's a sunshine, you know, there's a sunflower at the top. So I feel like, you know, she is that sort of bright sun in the whole situation. And then you've got this king, and I just feel like he is fun. You know, he's a bit of a laugh, you know, like he's in for a good time, but he knows when to be serious. So I think that's quite important. He knows when he has to be serious, even though he's got a fun life. So that's showing you the wands and in my thoughts. So just very quickly, just want to go through and just have a real quick look at the cups without going into too much detail. So you can go through and do that with the deck yourself, with any of your decks. Go through and sort of make up and see how they run together and the story they tell as they move through. So you could do that yourself. If you look on my blog, you'll see the Fool's Journey through the different suits with different decks. And it sort of shows you how you can write a story. Here's the swords, you know, and how they connect, you know, with the clarity, cutting away the debris. Then there's that peace restored, you know, through the choices made. There's the heart broken. There's the sense of needing to rest. There's the fight. That's a win. That could be a no-win situation. Even though you feel like you're winning, it's actually a no-win situation. 6 of Swords tells us there's a shift in perception. 8 is about taking back your 7 is about taking back what belongs to you. 8 seems like you're suppressed and bound and tied up. I love that imagery. Isn't that cool? It's actually got a very with the ravens or crows, the dark birds, blackbirds. The whole, it's really cool, like in a mummy in a coffin. Then you've got the 9 of Swords, which is about releasing the stress and worry. Then you've got that whole endings. Look at the 10 of Swords. And to me, I love this because this is like this 2 aspects that are fighting or trying to reach each other, trying to pull towards each other as they end, as things end. Then you've got the princess, the prince. It's very gory, that prince. I mean, it's very bloody in what goes on. The queen and the king. So you can see that deck. And then you've got the pentacles. Ace, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to show you, I'm going to show you them all, but I'm going to do it very quickly. And to really get a real beauty of the deck, you really do have to spend time. I mean, you look at the 8 of Pentacles there with recognition of skill. Finishing off, completing skill for benefits, for the rewards. 9, 10, everything coming together. It's that same Kabbalah shape, tree of life shape. Then you've got your princess, your prince, your queen, and your king. So you can see the beauty in the colour, the vibrancy, the story that the images tell as they go through and share their story. I mean, they really do. The Fool, as he travels through the cards and he sees the different characters, you can see the story that they tell. And I just think they're just superb. I mean, you just look at that colours and the characters and what you see, like at a distance like this, it's amazing what you can actually see. You know, the man in the moon and the creatures, but there's actually like the creatures there, but yet you see the figures here. So really superb deck. So now that I've actually showed you the characters and you've seen some of my storytelling and you've given an idea of how you can work with this deck and things that you can do. I mean, that's just some of the ways I find really helpful when I'm starting to study a deck, is to look at the character and how they interact with the other cards. Is a really great way. So here's some ideas on how you can actually work with this deck. So definitely fun deck. Now, I want to be really careful with this deck. I'm not sure what the quality is like, and I'm not superb at shuffling this way. As you can see, pretty hopeless. I'm just a bit worried about the quality of the cards, actually, because I noticed somebody else had been using their deck, and it looked like it had ripped slightly. I don't know if that was just careless shuffling or what. So I'm just a bit thing about doing the deck like this. I don't normally, so I'm not very, sometimes I can do it, and then some of the decks I can't. I think it's just, no, I can't do it with this deck. I think I'm being too cautious with it, like I'm being a bit protective, because it is quite an expensive deck here in New Zealand. So our prices in New Zealand for our decks are actually quite expensive. So I've actually ended up getting a lot of my decks, which I've ordered from the UK, from Book Depository, actually. I really don't want to say that too loudly, but Book Depository, because they do free worldwide delivery in some of the mass-produced decks. So, I mean, I got this here in New Zealand. It was quite expensive, but I noticed that in the UK, with the book site, Book Depository site that I get my books, the rest of the decks from, that I've started to order from, are so much cheaper than what even the New Zealand decks that I've got coming, or the Māori Oracle deck that I've ordered. Well, I will order at some stage. It's on my list. I sort of really had to I had so much that I were allowed to spend, and I budgeted and went, no, can't spend any more. And then I went and looked at the Crystal Alley deck, the revised one, and thought, right, I'm going to get that right. Okay, it's nearly half an hour, so I think you've had more than enough. I think you're ready to quit on me. So we're just going to do the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. And because I don't know how well I've shuffled, so I'm just going to pull the cards sort of somewhere in the middle. So we've got 9 of Swords, which is interesting. And we've got 7 of Wands. Okay, so what we're looking at here is you've got the 3 of Pentacles. So it's about being recognised for your skills and your abilities. Remembering to release your worries and stresses to the rest of the world. Don't try not to hold on to that. There may be times that you need to actually stand up for yourself, which will be really important. So you may find yourself in battles which may be causing the stress, and it could be because you're recognized for what you're capable of doing. There could be some jealousy or some stuff going on. People don't quite like maybe something that you're doing, and you just might have to defend yourself a little bit. Just be careful about how you're expressing yourself. I think will be really important. Allowing your true light to shine through, and allow yourself to actually, I feel like you just need to give it up to the universe and say, hey, look, everybody has their own opinion. I am going to stand up for myself and say, hey, look, that's not who you think I am. I'm not who you believe I am. I am this way. This is who I am. And you can either take it or leave it. Anyway, done over 30 minutes. So that's more than enough for you to sit through. So take care and blessed be from Hecate's Crossing and the Starman Tarot. Walk through with the Fool's Journey. The beginning, anyway, of the Fool's Journey. Take care and blessed be.